call Dr. Salma Karim the podium to talk about Al-Khawarizmi, a national program to promote AI for development in Morocco. And you have 30 minutes. We're on time.
Thank you, Professor. First of all, I would like to thank the organizers for this magnificent conference. It's been delightful to share all the conversations and have all the insights and all the great job you've been conducted as international experts, but also national researchers. So we're very proud to be part of the discussion as a public strategic entity, and I would be keen to know more about your project, what you are about to do in AI in terms of benchmarking and trying to get some inspiration, as my previous colleagues said. And I'm most of all honored to share the same panel as Mr. Fikrat and Mr. Saidi. And I will be briefly talking about the agency before introducing the program of applied research we are conducting here in Morocco. So I hope I will respect the timing. So the Agency for Digital Development in Morocco was created in 2018, but was operational in 2019. It's under the Ministry of, actually in this configuration of the government, it's under the Ministry of Digital Transition, but before that we were under the Ministry of Industry, Commerce and Green and Digital Economy. So this makes us an implementation, strategic implementation agency. Since the digital economy strategy is in the ministry and us, we have a roadmap in order to implement this strategy in different areas. So the main agency's mission is to implement smart government, contribute to digital and innovation ecosystem creation in Morocco, try to give social inclusion and human development, which are very important in order to succeed the digital transition and transformation of the country. And of course, without environmental and digital confidence, we can't achieve that. So ADD has multiple ways to collaborate with the ecosystem, since we are strategic and we are transversal. So we are federator and orchestrators for of the digital transformation. We can be project accelerator, since we are considered the startup of the government, since we are very agile, we're small sized, and we are quite interested about the larger scope, which is digital transformation. And of course, we're trying to enable the population and enable the government, the private and social sectors, in order to embrace the power of digital and make it a way to develop the country. So this is the roadmap. ADD's roadmap has been created since the first steering committee, which created the ADD in 2018. In 2019, it was the creation of the 15th project, which is AI ecosystem, and it's one of the most important projects in ADD's roadmap. We have the interoperability, we have the digital factory, the digital generation, which is the national plan for training and for human capital empowerment. We have the regulation, since digital needs a lot of regulation and laws in order to facilitate the transition, and the AI ecosystem creation in Morocco. So this is what we have been working on in a very important scope, but yet we didn't skip the other programs which are advancing in the same time. So now I'm jumping into Al-Khawarizmi program, which is the National Applied Research in Artificial Intelligence in Big Data. It's been launched since 2019 in collaboration with the Ministry of Industry, the Ministry of Higher Education, Scientific Research and Innovation, the National Center for Scientific and Technical Research, and of course, ADD. So this is something you already know. It's just some data to emphasize the importance of AI, how AI is a revolution, how AI movement is embracing the world, and how Morocco can benefit from this movement in order to accelerate its social and economic development. So Al-Khawarizmi main goals is to set up a framework for collaboration between the research community, between the Moroccan AI ecosystem, but also the institutionals. It's also a support of fundamental research and applied research in order to boost industrial property and startup creation, but also try to assist the researcher and emerge an AI dedicated research community in Morocco. So when we launched the program, we received 700 manifestation of interest. So those 700 accounts that were created in the Abhat platform of CNRST became 251 application potential project. So the envelope for finance and funding, it was 50 million of dirhams. This 50 millions of dirhams is 35 million of dirhams from the Ministry of Higher Education and 15 millions of dirhams from ADD. So this is how we invested. We shortlisted at the first scope of scientific evaluation around 65 projects that was shortlisted and were received as pure applied scientific research in AI and big data. It was around 16 fields who cover the main domains of Moroccan economy. And we had a second batch of evaluation. This one was institutional because we did integrate the government. So each ministerial department had to look the project up and tell us if they match with the vision and if they can facilitate the data sets and if they can contribute to acquire the application or the outputs of the research, because the main objective is yes to encourage scientific research, is yes to encourage applied research, but the output is trying to boost applications, sectoral applications in the domain of artificial intelligence, but also boost the startup creation and entrepreneurship in this field. So after this second batch of evaluation, which has been conducted by the ministerial departments, we had 45 projects. Those 45 projects are mainly from public universities, 78%, and 12% of the head of research are women, which is something very encouraging for our country. So those are the main selected applied project by field. Mainly we have 40% for healthcare projects. This is a coincidence. We didn't mean to have tendencies. We were really open to see what are the Moroccan researchers able to propose to us, but it was 40% of healthcare projects. Then we have energy, industry, agriculture, educational, smart cities, etc. I mean, the main domains who are part of the Moroccan economy. So this is mainly the scope of national universities, laboratories, and research private entities who are, most of them, majority of them are Moroccan and conducted by Moroccan teams of research and heads of research. So the presentation will be shared with you later, so don't bother about the information, I can share it easily. So this is the summary of applied AI research projects by field. I mean, for the health, we had detection mainly for prognosis of cancer, etc. We have a very interesting project about labor, because you know Morocco is quite a rural country, and sometimes medical infrastructure is not available for rural population. So there is a system to anticipate labor so that we can have a good decision making in order to implement the medical stuff, so that we can reduce the risk of infantile mortality and even the death of women while in labor. So those are very interesting projects we have in the healthcare field. We have also the energy and environment. For example, we have some systems for irrigation, monitoring, water and detection, and risk engineering tools, etc. So there will be, we are working on a platform in order to highlight and emphasize the project. It will be launched very soon, so each one can visit it and have more insights and some element of advancements about each and one of the projects we are conducting in Al-Khawarizmi. And I think the next session will be highlighting around 8 projects that we already have in the Al-Khawarizmi family. So for the field of industry, we have some mining industry solutions, we have for predictive maintenance, etc. And I will pass those fields since the information is quite available. So what we are aiming to do in this project, the main objective was to encourage scientific applied research, but not only that. We want to position Morocco as an AI hub in North Africa. By doing that, we need to already identify successful sectoral uses for AI, where we can advance in Morocco. Why not? In order to be able to do that, we need to coach this community, because this community needs to be trained, since it's multidisciplinary teams. Not all of them are tech savvy or specialized in algorithms. So we are training them in order to have the perfect comprehension and knowledge about artificial intelligence and data. So the second thing is to, because the main purpose of the researcher is to publish. But in order to make it happen economically, there is the right timing between the publication and the patenting and the licensing and the economic valorization. So this is what we've been doing this first year, because we have a dedicated entity in Morocco, which is called OMPIC, which is the Office for Intellectual and Industrial Property. So we've been raising awareness among our research community to know where to publish, where to not publish, because this is something they can have some economic revenue upon, so they need to patent it before publishing it. So this is the job we've been conducting. So we've been having coaching sessions one-to-one with OMPIC and our researchers in order to know how to just like industrial reduction, and to know if it's a logiciel patenting or just an algorithm patenting, etc., to know about it. So that from the beginning they know what they can do in terms of scientific publishing and what they can do if they have their main idea is to create a startup or to sell the application in the end of the process. So we've been doing that. In the ADD, we have also a dedicated team to boost startup ecosystem. So this team is facilitating the work with incubators, with financial institution, in order to give a package, a complete package, to help a startup establish itself or create itself. So we've been conducting also sessions in order to coach our researcher community in order to have the necessary knowledge so we can maximize and optimize the output of this research program. We also opening up to other institutional partner and international partner. For example, for agriculture, we're conducting FAO, for instance. So they do have research communities, they do have papers, etc., and how to highlight the effort we are making, for example, in this sector in international scene, and see how they can collaborate with other research teams. We are also opening up to other laboratories in Europe mainly, and even in America with Canada most of the time, on ethical issues, because ethics is very important for AI. And since we want to position Morocco, we need to be aware of the ethical challenges. And since March, the last I think mid-March, we did adopt with the UNESCO the guidelines, ethical guidelines of the UNESCO, and ADD is part of the National Ethical Commission for AI. So this is something very important, and it's something that we want to transmit to our research community. So we are facilitator, we coach them, we try to animate the community, we try to provide them with data sets if they can't have them, to facilitate the interaction with the local community, but also with the local administration mostly, because they do access the local communities, but sometimes they have difficulties reaching out to administration. So something we handle with them. And also there is, as you know, there is some administrative difficulties in terms of using the money we provided, because we do give the money to the Ministry of Education. The Ministry of Education gives the money to universities, and then the university gives it to the faculty and then to the research team. So it's quite long process. Sometimes it's very fluid with some entities, but sometimes some blockages. So we do act as facilitators, and we follow up with the finance. So we make sure that our researchers have the necessary resources in order to get the advancement done in terms of research. So this is what we do mainly in terms of backup, etc. And also, we did conduct workshops and trainings. We want to highlight the program, and that other entities talk about Al-Khawarizmi in order to create this movement, to create interest and duplicate. Why not? Because we believe that the community can create a movement and then can create impact. So this is what we are trying to do. This is our second year. The first year was a challenge because we did start after COVID. We launched before COVID and we started after COVID. So the first year will mainly getting to know our researchers, what are their needs, facilitating the dataset acquisition, the problematics they could face in terms of finance and access to finance. So now we starting to have publication. The work is on track. Some very good projects are really advanced, so we can start the events around this, talking about the outputs, because we want to show the results to the government, to the ecosystem, in order to be able to do Al-Khawarizmi 2 and 3 and 4 and have more finance and more probably partners in order to create this ecosystem. Because ecosystem is created by innovation, by entrepreneurship, and we can't do this without the university, without the researchers, without the human capital. So we are training also this human capital with facilitating the training that are available with our partner, but we also have a national e-learning platform that is implementing AI training. So we have Al-Akademia Raqmiya, which is academiaraqmiya.gov.ma, and we have an AI learning path, which is 94 hours of courses that are quite global about AI. They can be very basic, but they can be advanced. So we can help our researchers access to knowledge, since, as I said before, it's multidisciplinary, so we need to back them up with the technical and technological knowledge. So this is operational as a platform, but we will start enrolling our Al-Khawarizmi teams in October, so they can start learning and advance in terms of their needs. So this is what we do in terms of Al-Khawarizmi program. We consider it as a pilot, as the first actual project regarding ecosystem, AI ecosystem. We know that we have already in other departments of ADD some good startups that are operating into AI field, such as natural language processing and all the work they're doing with local dialects and etc. So those are some startups that the teams are following up with, and this is mainly what we do. What's next for AI in Morocco? Mainly a roadmap as a strategy, because that was the main of creating the AI ecosystem program in ADD. It was testing some application in order to be able to set the road for AI strategy in Morocco. So I think this is the next big step. As the national new model of development said, digital is important. It will help Morocco gain some years of development, and it's important in terms of transparency, in terms of human capital development, and of course in terms of economic and social growth. So this is what I have got for you guys. So this is it.
Thank you, Dr. Salma Karim, for this presentation related to ADD and talking about this public institution in Morocco responsible of digitalization and promoting Morocco in that field, and also give us in detail what this program Al-Khawarizmi is with all its components, its research, its pilot project, and where they're heading with this program. And trying to implement strategy in Morocco and also involving all the stakeholders in Morocco and thinking for the roadmap in the future.